Hey guys, I decided to make this video walkthrough video guide about the first 3 bosses in Farever. These bosses were a bit of a headache the first time I encountered them, so I thought this was going to be a good video to do. Hopefully help someone out there. I'm also working on the next 2 bosses that you can encounter on Area 2, Map 2, because those were also a bit of a headache. If you're interested or you like the video, please subscribe and like the video, it helps a lot. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment. I also stream almost every day, MMOs and RPGs, this kind of content. So if you like that and you like the vibe or you see me online, don't hesitate to come say hi and follow me in there. Or if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. For now, let's start with Crabgantua. Crabgantua is a boss located at the bottom of the waterhole in Triton Beach. This is how you get there. The main mechanic of this fight is surviving his ultimate attack, a massive tidal wave that instantly kills anyone caught in it. To survive, your group needs to knock the spikes off his back and use them as safe platforms during the ultimate. The fight loops through 2 phases pretty much. During phase 1, you fight Crabgantua directly while he builds towards his ultimate. The yellow bar under his HP shows the charge progress of said ultimate. During this phase, Crabgantua mainly uses 2 abilities. The first is Tidal Slash. He channels this attack for about 4 seconds, targeting a large cone in front of him. It deals heavy damage and can't be blocked, so move out before it goes off. Melee players can safely move to his side or behind him and keep attacking during the cast. The second ability is Devour. A random player gets marked with a red eye above their head, and Crabgantua will chase them for 10 seconds. If he catches the target, it usually results in a one-shot. The marked player should focus entirely on running and saving any mobility skills or dashes, while the rest of the group attacks the boss safely from behind. If you are doing this boss solo, however, you will always be targeted by Devour. While dealing with these mechanics, your goal is to force Crabgantua to drop one of his spikes from his back. A spike drops every time the boss loses roughly 17% HP, specifically at 83%, 66%, 49%, 32%, and 15% HP. These spikes are critical for surviving the ultimate, so avoid fighting near them because Crabgantua can destroy them with his movement or with a Tidal Slash. Once the yellow gauge fills, phase 2 begins. Crabgantua moves, or actually dashes, to the center of the arena and begins casting Naya's Fury, his ultimate. This cast lasts around 10 seconds. During this time, 3 geysers activate around the arena. Use one of these to launch yourself upwards, then glide onto the fallen spike. About 1 second before the cast ends, the geysers will deactivate. Crabgantua unleashes a giant tidal wave that covers the entire arena and instantly kills anyone not standing safely on a spike. While it is possible to survive the tidal wave without a platform, it is not extremely reliable since it requires really precise timing. If you have to do it, you need to jump right before the geysers deactivate and then glide towards the boss to avoid the wave. The wave will always start at the boss, so gliding towards the boss is always the better option. Mage and Rogue can actually skip the wave completely. Shadow Step makes it really easy, the timing is really forgiving, and while Blink is really much harder to do, but also possible. After the wave passes, ads called Crabs of the Lost City spawn near the geysers. The number of ads increase after every ultimate, so clear them quickly before going back onto the boss. The fight then repeats until Crabgantua dies. One important thing to remember is that Crabgantua only has 5 spikes in total. If the fight drags on too long and all spikes are gone, there is no reliable way to survive future ultimates. That is the entire fight. Manage spikes carefully, survive Naya's Fury, clean up the ad, dodge frontals, and don't die to Devour. And Crabgantua becomes a pretty straightforward boss encounter. King Ratsar is found deep inside the Cobalt Cave in northern Enriet. This is how you get there. And this fight is all about controlling the arena while dealing with increasingly dangerous mechanics. The longer the fight goes on, the more chaotic the room becomes, with fire puddles, expanding shockwaves, and ranged ads filling the whole arena. The fight alternates between a main combat phase and a short mechanic phase, triggered every 20% of the boss's HP, specifically at 80, 60, 40, and 20% HP. Let's start with phase 1, the main phase. King Ratsar uses a few core abilities. He has a normal melee swing that can be blocked. This melee swing will always be a vertical attack. Real danger comes from the Great Slam. The Great Slam is a combo attack that always starts with a horizontal slash from his sword, before chaining multiple vertical slams into the ground. Every slam creates expanding fire rings that travel across the arena. To avoid them, you will need to time your jump as the rings reach you. At the start of the fight, Great Slam creates only 2 rings, but after each phase transition, the mechanic becomes harder. On the first cycle, you get 2 slow rings. On the second cycle, you get 1 slow ring followed by 2 fast rings. On the final cycle, you get 1 slow ring into 2 fast rings into another slow ring. The attack also leaves behind fire puddles that permanently reduce your save space. So positioning matters a lot as the fight progresses. Ratsar's next mechanic actually helps clean the arena. His next mechanic is Raging Spin. The boss charges forward to a player while spinning and dealing damage multiple times if it hits you. If you bait this attack to go through the fire puddles left behind by Great Slam, the spin will remove them completely. This is one of the most important tricks in the fight, because keeping the arena clean makes the later phases dramatically easier. Now let's go into the mechanic phase. Every time Ratsar loses 20% HP, he procs this phase. The boss jumps into the middle of the arena and begins casting Spark Absorption towards one of the stacks of Rastar located along the train track. Your group must destroy that stack before the cast finishes. If you fail, Ratsar gains a massive damage buff that makes the rest of the fight extremely dangerous, almost impossible. As soon as the stack is destroyed, the boss becomes stunned for 6 seconds. Use this downtime to deal as much damage as possible, and more importantly, clear the adds that spawn during these transitions. Its destroyed stack permanently increases the number of adds in future mechanic phases. At 60%, you get 2 adds. At 40%, you get 4 adds. At 20%, you get 6 adds, and the boss does not get stunned anymore since there is no snack to be consumed. He will still hit you, still do mechanics, while the adds are just running rampant around you. These adds are ranged enemies that constantly reposition and throw fire attacks around the arena, creating even more pressure on movement and positioning. If left alive for too long, they can quickly overwhelm the room with fire zones, so prioritizing them during the stun window is usually the safest play. Overall, the fight is less about raw damage and more about arena control. Jump the fire rings consistently, use Raging Spin to clear the puddles, and destroy every snack before the cast finishes. Clean up the adds during the stun phases and you're good to go. Once you control the space properly, King Ratsar becomes much more manageable. Lady B is a dungeon boss found at the top of the Winter Tree in Honeywoods. This is how to get there. This fight is also all about arena management. As the fight goes on, the floor slowly gets destroyed, shrinking the space you have to work with. If you fall into the mud below, you'll constantly take damage, so keeping the arena damage to the slowest is the most important thing of the fight. Right from the start, try to position Lady B near the edge of the arena, but avoid the side with the cannon room, since you will need access to that later during phase 2. Keeping her near the edge makes one of her most dangerous mechanics much easier to manage. Let's talk about mechanics. Lady B has 4 main attacks during the first phase. Her basic melee attacks are straightforward and can be blocked, but most of the danger comes from projectile mechanics. The first major attack is Sharp Leaves. Lady B briefly channels while yellow spinning discs appear around her, then fires those discs towards players. These projectiles can't be blocked, so keep moving and be ready to dash if you need to. This has a 25-second cooldown. Next is Deadly Blossom. Lady B teleports to the center of the arena and summons spinning blue discs around herself. After a short delay, the discs spiral outward and then curve back in towards the boss. Getting hit deals damage and knocks you back, which can easily throw you into the mud if you're not careful. You can avoid this by weaving between them, dashing or jumping over them. This has a 50-second cooldown. And finally, Royal Barrage. This is the way the arena starts getting destroyed. Lady B targets one player with a yellow circle beneath their feet. After a few seconds, the location locks in and she fires a massive honey projectile at that spot. This attack destroys every platform tile it touches, even if it only touches them partially. So how you position this mechanic determines how much arena space you keep for the rest of the fight. If you are targeted, immediately run towards the outer edge and try to place the impact so it only destroys 1 or 2 tiles at maximum. With good positioning, you can even bait the projectile completely into the mat, saving the platform entirely. However, this is risky. because you will probably take a few ticks of the mud damage. This mechanic is the key to controlling the fight, so always stay alert for the yellow marker. This happens every 20 seconds. Now let's talk about phase 2. Phase 2 happens only once throughout the whole fight. It happens when Lady B reaches 60% HP. Lady B flies up onto a platform above the arena and becomes untargetable. From there, she starts firing honey beams that randomly destroy sections of the floor. At the same time, new platforms appear, leading to a room at the back of the arena where a cannon is waiting. One player needs to interact with the cannon and shoot Lady B down, while the rest of the group handles the two ads protecting it. In group play, decide ahead of time who's taking the cannon so nobody wastes time during transition. If you're solo, however, save your damage cooldowns for this phase. You will need to kill the two ads quickly before using the cannon, otherwise they will constantly interrupt you. Be careful though, the ads can place healing zones that make them much harder to kill. Save crowd control, abilities to interrupt, or anything that you have to deal with these zones. This phase needs to be done fast because Lady B keeps destroying arena tiles the entire time she's airborne. Once she's shot down, Lady B crashes back into the arena, stunned for a few seconds. Quickly cross back before the temporary platforms disappear, then phase 1 resumes, but now the fight becomes much more chaotic. From this point onward, additional waves of vertical spinning discs start moving across the arena in straight lines. These discs deal damage and heavily knock back players, making them one of the easiest ways to get thrown into mud. When these waves appear, focus entirely on movement first and damage second. Lady B also throws out more projectiles during sharp leaves and deadly blossoms, while the arena continues shrinking. By now, the fight becomes a balancing act between dodging mechanics, preserving floor space, and burning the boss down before the arena completely disappears. The biggest thing to remember in this fight is that every mistake permanently reduces your space. One badly placed Royal Barrage can take the rest of the encounter dramatically harder. So staying focused and positioning correctly is what separates clean kills from actually wiping. Keep the arena intact, stay mobile, handle the cannon phase quickly, and Lady B will eventually go down.